Okay, hi everyone. My name is Sally, and I have a website called SewLikeARockstar.com. I recently got my hands on the Babylock Solaris. So there she's sitting back there, all pretty, and I got her last week, and today is August 30th of 2018. Yesterday, we picked up the 30-foot set for the Solaris. So what I'm going to do tonight, and we've already had a long day of working. You're going to catch me yawning. It's been a long day. This is meant to just be a fun video to show off what's in the 30-foot kit. Now, besides the feet that came with the machine, I've bought about 5 or 6 more, and I have them out here. And I'll show you the differences, and I'll show you how the bag looks for the Solaris. It's a purple, nice bag. It's sitting right here on my desk right now. And the purpose of the video is so that we can get good close-ups of the feet. And I'll tell you a couple reasons why I bought the ones I bought. And I'm a foot junkie anyway. I mean, I love having all the feet for a machine because there's some times where just putting a different foot on is going to make the difference of how that whole thing works and performs. That can make the difference between really pretty stitches where everything lines up nice and feeds properly and when things don't. Okay, so I've got all the stuff out here and we're just going to go through it. And again, I told you I'm going to yawn because I'm thinking it. I yawned 3 times just trying to turn this video on. So anyway, this is just a casual fun thing, and I'm all excited about the Solaris. Personally, I owned a Babylock Allissimo Gold back until 2015. I think I bought it in 2012. And then I sold it to a friend. And then I was with a lot of Bernina machines for the last couple years. And then most recently, I finally got the Solaris. And so I didn't have any of the Babylock Destinies. By the way, the 30-foot kit looks the same though. It looks the same as what they are selling for the Destinies. The difference is in the bag. And I'll show you the bag too. Anyway, to save time, I took all the stuff out for the most part so that we'll get through this thing a little quicker. If I had to sit and pull it all out of the bag, we'd be spending 3 times longer here tonight. So let's go through it and just have some fun, okay? And I got to get you moved down here to my desk. Hang on. Ah, there it is. Okay. So this is the bag that it comes with now. It's really pretty nice. Now, I personally wouldn't want to keep my feet in this for the for my use. You know, I wouldn't want this just laying around in my sewing area and then having to dig in here for a foot. I really like having my feet out. And you can see right behind us here, all across my desk, I laid the feet out. So this will be a little fun to go through. So first, let me just show you the bag. The bag is nice. It's got double zippers that bring you up to the top. And when you open it up, let's open it the other way. And by the way, there's a loop back here to put on a suitcase so that you could use this and it would be on the trolley of a suitcase. And then inside, there's all these pockets. Now I didn't pull them out of here yet. I'm going to pull those out, but all rest of these I took out already. So something to note, and I guess I don't need to zoom in yet because if I do, you won't be able to see all of it. The one thing that's really pretty nice about this bag are all of the different size pockets that it has. Now I can see me using this to keep supplies to take to a retreat. Okay, so maybe, you know, here's big ones that scissors and rotary cutters would fit in. Here's separate. Now this is 6 pockets on this particular page. This one has 3 pockets, and again, they were all full of feet, and I already took them out. Here's 2 pockets, 2 pockets. Here's 3 again. And then here's another one that has 6. And then I'm not sure if my dealer just did this or if it really comes with it, but there were some of the sew men, I call them the sew men, that are for the embroidery positioning. And then this accessory book came that explains these feet. And then there's a big pocket on the back side. So the bag itself is really pretty nice. So let's start by taking out these ones in the front and talk about them. Let's let me zoom in just a little. Let's do that. do them right here. That you should be able to see them. Okay, so I'm going to pull these out one at a time, and we'll go through them. So the first one, bias binder foot that's adjustable. Now I've used this one before, and it works reasonably well. But the big thing I wanted to be able to show all of the feet were the back sides too, because I know that matters on how things feed. So for each foot, I'll show you the back side. So the bias binder foot, the one that's adjustable. The next one is the bias binder foot. Now these are a little more fun. If you haven't used them, they work well. Now this is for pretty small binding. I guess we got to look up the instructions to see how big to cut the strips. But you cut the strips and then it folds them as it leads it up to the needle. Okay. Now this is where these are kind of fun. If you do some decorative stitching and you put any kind of cording down, and I think this one is kind of clever the way they've made this foot. I used this before when I had my Olissimo. You can unscrew this and slide it, and it changes how wide it'll allow ribbon or cording to go through this foot. And it has a total cutout in the back, as you can see. So if you're even working with thick cord, it won't get hung up as it's going behind the needle. And again, remember, hey, it's been a long day. I'm talking about something entirely different than what I talked about all day, so feeling a little goofed up. Okay, this is one of the feet I really like. Candle wicking. But I use it for a lot of other things. Whenever you've got something thick that you want to use the edge of the fabric as a guide, even top stitching some things. What's nice about it is that you have all this viewing area with this open toe, and you can use either toe, obviously, but usually this one to guide fabric, and then you can move your needle to get a top stitching line in a perfect place. But it has a big cutout on the bottom, real deep. And that makes a big difference. You know, I don't know if you've ever had problems feeding something, but sometimes it's only because the cutout in the back isn't enough to accommodate the stitches. And here's a cording foot. These are fun. As you can see in the picture, it's meant to lay down tiny cord. And this has a nice cutout in the back too to accommodate those tiny little cords. So something like pearl cotton, if you wanted to add some color to your decorative stitching, putting pearl cotton through this works. And this one allows you to have up to 7 cords go through it. But even if you only use 2 or 3 or 5, you can put them through the holes in the front. And this works really well. One more. And boy, this one's important. This one should come with every sewing machine out there, and it doesn't, but it's a really fantastic foot to have. Even if you don't want a 30-foot kit, if you've got a Babylock or Brother, you should really definitely get this foot. They call it the edge joining foot. And in the little diagram here, you can see where they got 2 different colors of fabric, and then they kind of zigzagged and put them together. How it works is there's a blade that is right. I want to make sure you can see the blade. There you can see it. See the blade right there? The blade is perfect for doing like stitch in the ditch work or putting 2 pieces of fabric together. Or you can even use this for top stitching because the blade will butt up against the edge of a project, and then you can decenter the needle and then get some really nice, even, close top stitching done by using this foot. Again, this is a must-have foot. Can't live without it. In Bernina land, it's the number 10 foot, and it's super popular. All right, so I have everything out of the bag now. So let's put this away, and then we'll look at all the other ones that I have out on my desk. Back this up again. So now you can see everything I've got. But again, the bag is nice. I can see putting supplies in it for a retreat or something. All right. So now let's zoom back in again. Now, depending on the pockets, I've got to figure out where the center is on my table here. Here. Depending on where the pockets were in the accessory bag, some of these come with 2 of these together, but if you were going to keep them with your feet, you could cut them apart or whatever. So the first ones are cording feet. They come in 2 different sizes to accommodate 2 different sides of cords. This one is 4 to 6 millimeter. The bigger one is 7 to 8 millimeter cord. The next one is an open toe clear plastic. Now I like this foot. Again, I like to be able to see what's going, up to the needle. And it's got a nice cutout in the back. This particular one, I didn't know it was going to be in the 30-foot set, so I bought this one already too, but I guess I'll bring one back. That's nice. Now the open toe sole for the digital feed foot. This is new to me. Now I didn't have the dual feed gizmo on my Alissimo back in the day, so this is still something I'm learning. But I'm really glad to see that these feet came in the 30-foot kit. While I'm on that, here's the other one that came. So these 2 are here. The first one is a 1/4 inch foot for the dual feed foot. So it has a guide right here. So easy to do a 1/4 inch seam. And one thing that we have here, we have these made. They're in my son's store. My son does our physical products. We do zippers and purse frames and things. And one of the things we have is we have these little 1/4 inch seam guide rulers. So just to show you where this lands, once this guide is up against the edge of this ruler, the needle hole is perfectly on center there. I don't know if you can see the hole or not, but there it is. So that is the 1/4 inch seam, and it's just beautiful. Then it's a stitch in the ditch, edge joining one. I'm imagining this is going to be a wonderful thing, especially with the extra brute force that digital feed gizmo can do on the Babylock. Again, I haven't had a chance to play with that yet. Maybe next week. Okay, then the walking foot comes. Okay, so it's a nice walking foot. They also have one that's called a deluxe walking foot that has interchangeable soles. This one doesn't, but this is the one that will also fit in your accessory tray with your machine. Teflon foot. If you haven't used one of these, it's awfully nice if you're doing anything with vinyl. Yeah, come on, focus. There it goes. It's kind of shiny, so it's not wanting to focus real well. So the Teflon foot is super slippery, good for vinyl, leather, that type of thing. An invisible zipper foot. Been a while since I put one of those on anything. How about you guys? And, oops, I'm missing one. Oh, here it is. Sorry. Let's get this over here. Okay, this is a pin tuck, a 3-groove foot. So it has 3 relatively big grooves on the back side. And here's the 5-groove. And the grooves are skinnier. So if you were putting some cord down and you wanted to do it this way or do the pin tucking, this one's tinier than this one. You don't necessarily have to do 5. Here's 3 more. So here's the pearl and piping foot. This is fun if you're going to put something thick through your machine, like a string of pearls or beads. It's got a real deep cutout through here, and it's also got the advantage of being clear so that you can see the product going through the foot. One more thing to note is that this is really curved back here. Let me show you the back side again. Come on, focus in. If you can see that curve, that means if you were going around a curve, you won't be fighting the foot. And then a piping foot, excuse me, a piping foot that's set to the left, so the groove is to the left of the needle. Again, a nice cutout for that, for tiny piping. And then it says mini piping foot. And this one's just down the center. It's down the center, but it has a nice curved backside so that you could be going around curves and it would feed very nicely. Okay, zipper foot. Teflon? Really? Oh, it is. I'll be darned. Okay, I didn't know this was going to be in here. This is great. So this is a skinny zipper foot, but it has a Teflon bottom. Now, if you're going to be using these, be careful with them and try to avoid having your feed dogs chewing this up. Make sure that you have fabric between the foot and the feed dog so that that lasts a long time for you. But very nice, because then it'll add some slip to vinyl or anything like that that you're working with. Fun, fun, fun. Okay, here's a fun one. I use this a lot. Roller foot. Same thing, if you're working with something that doesn't really want to feed very nice, sometimes the roller foot is extra nice. Leather, vinyls, things like that. Kind of fun. This one doesn't have a very big cutout or anything in the back. It kind of does drop off a little, but not much. This is really pretty flat back here. Whee, and it's flying across the desk. It does move. Kind of like a neat toy, huh? Okay. Sequin trim foot. I've never used this, but this looks like it would be fun. And again, I like the view of it. You've got a slot in the front here to guide material through. Wouldn't necessarily have to be sequins. Interesting though, huh? A little bit of a slanted backside to help feed that, but it's definitely meant to feed something rather flat. I could see where this might work for a type of ribbon or something too. Do they still make soutache? I remember soutache cord. I would think this would work for that. Okay, then some guides came, and again, I'm a total newbie to the dual feed, but the guides came to attach to the dual feed gizmo. And here we go, a couple more. This one, gathering foot. If you haven't used it, they are kind of fun to use. Fabric goes through here, and because it doesn't hit the feed dogs, it lets it bunch up. They're interesting. Now this one, I wish Babylock would have more of these. I have a nice range of these in my Bernina land, but this is a hemmer foot. You feed fabric into it and it curves it around, and this is meant to do a really tiny little hem. Like that's probably only, I'm guessing 2 millimeters. You can see the backside cut out. They're fun feet, but I would also like to have like a 4 millimeter one. Then there's a felling foot. Now this one isn't, see again, can't talk tonight. This one you have to remove your ankle to put this one on. So this isn't a snap-on foot. That's the words I'm looking for. Felling foot is an interesting thing though. Sometimes if you have a big one or you're doing skinny binding, you can use this to attach binding too. Now this one's pretty skinny. Some felling feet have got a bigger cutout in the back. I'm guessing this is maybe, oh, I don't know, 3 millimeters. Then, fringe looping foot. It's got a blade. Make sure you can see it. It's got a blade. Come on, focus. It has a blade in the middle, so you zigzag over it and it makes loops of thread for that type of effect. So that's your 30-foot kit. Now, these are some feet that I bought that weren't in the box with the machine, and I just am kind of a junkie for some of this. So one of the things is your machine came with this 1/4 inch foot, and I'm talking about the Solaris. It comes with this one. It has a guide which is really nice if you like guides. And there's a perfect 1/4 inch. If you can see the, let me try and see if I can get up high enough for that. I don't know if you can see the hole there or not. There's a hole in this ruler right here. And that's where you set your sewing machine needle to go through it so that you can properly measure what a 1/4 inch is, so you have a reference point when you're making 1/4 inch seams or doing 1/4 inch lines of stitching. So this one that has the guide came with the machine. I already bought this one. My favorite Babylock foot is this one. The 1/4 inch is on the edge of this toe, so it's really easy to see. No, there it is. It's really easy to see where your 1/4 inch lies. Let me get the camera angle right so that it shows. There. 1/4 inch ruler lands right here at the edge of this toe. So it's really easy to see it. This one is a different 1/4 inch foot. And this one has a leveling button. So if you're going up and over a bump, you stop and you push the button in, and then that keeps the foot from doing a pivot. So I thought this was kind of interesting. The 1/4 inch line on this one is right here on the outside edge of this toe here too, like that. Okay, sorry, but when I'm sitting here looking at it, that looks flat to me. I'm sitting kind of aside to the camera, but that's perfect right there. So that's easy too. So 1/4 inch feet, you got 3 choices. And of course I have to have all of them. All right, then this is an overcasting foot, and it's slightly different than the one that came with the machine. Here's the one that came with the machine. It's all silver. The one that you can order has the black guide on it. And if you compare the two out, the guide in the optional foot, let me try to get there, is a little thicker. It's also positioned a little different. And you can see that it maybe would accommodate something thicker going through it. The cutout is bigger and deeper on the back of the foot. I'm going to have to play with both of them, but I do like an overcasting foot. But on heavier fabric, it seems like this one's probably going to work a little better. And then the difference is too, from the front side, this one's got a little bit of a open toe type affair, where this one's got your typical snowmobile ski front. You know, look at it, just totally tapers up. But so this one might make a little difference too, the way something feeds. They're slightly different. But we have to have them now, don't we? Then, this is new to me, but I'm kind of a junkie for zipper feet. This is the one that they're calling Zipper Foot Right. And it's interesting because it only has the foot to the left of the needle, which means your needle position is to the right. I'm looking forward to trying that. Now that's, again, where a 1/4 inch might be interesting. 1/4 inch on this one would be right here along this edge. We do a lot of zippers with the bags I do, and we have 1/4 inch seams when we're installing zippers. This might be interesting to try. So, Zipper Foot Right. And last one, and this one is technically a no-no, but I wanted it anyway because this one says it's not for the Group B machines. It says Group H. But I had one of these with my old Elissimo, and I like it. This is just a button foot, and it's got kind of rubbery toes. It holds buttons well. And when the guy told me about it, I ordered this over the phone yesterday. And I said, well, will you just try it and see as long as it fits on the machine? He said that this one doesn't go down all the way. Well, if you've got a button there, it doesn't matter if it doesn't go down all the way. So I'm game to try it, but it's just a separate little button foot. So there you have it. Turn you around. Okay. So I'm a foot junkie. I admit it. There's still some other ones that are in the accessory book that I didn't get. So one thing I did, all of you guys that have iPads, I strongly encourage you to do this. Go look for the accessory book PDF download. Now that's how I Googled it. I don't remember where I found it, but I got the accessory book. I downloaded it, put it in my iPad, and I have one of the iPads that you can use the pencil with. So what you can do, and again, it's just nice to do. Then you can take your iPad with you if you go to the store and you want to shop for feet. What I did is I used one color of highlighter on my iPad because you can download the PDF, put it in so that you can read it in your iPad. I happen to use a product called GoodNotes or software. So I don't even know if it's sitting here where I can grab it. I don't have it handy. Anyway, the PDF displays on your iPad. It's really cool. Then you can use your pencil and you can mark on it. You can write on it or whatever. I use this for keeping track of my threads. I know this sounds crazy. And it's not so much that I'm so anal I just want to know all my big list. The thing is, I don't want to buy duplicates of something. It's a big pain in the ass. But big pain in the butt. Okay, so what I did is I took the accessories and I marked off the ones that came with my machine, and I did it in gold because of the gold machine. And then I wrote pink ones that were in the 30-foot kit, so I marked those off. And then the last thing I did is I took a little green marker and I put green little, just partial dots around all of the other ones that I was thinking of buying. So that way I can keep track of what I've bought. So now I'm going to go back through my PDF in my GoodNotes on my iPad Pro, and I'm going to mark through all of these that I have now. I know exactly what I have, so the next time I stop at the sewing center, which is not close to me, it's 40 miles, so it's not easy to get to. I mean, I just don't go there unless I really need something. So, but when I go, I can kind of compare, and I can always pick up another foot or two. But this assortment right here takes care of me really well. That Stitch in the Ditch edge joining foot is a must-have. The Overcasting foot, I wanted to compare them because I'll use that too. Some of these other ones are pretty fun. And again, I'm looking forward to doing the dual feed too. So this was just meant to be fun. I'll be using these feet as I go through some of my projects here on the site. And as I go through them, then we'll talk more about these, and then we'll show them with fabric and stitches, and we'll go into more detail on them. Because I'm just a true believer that if you have the right tools, then these sewing machines do an amazing, amazing job. Many of these feet, just for everybody that's watching that has other brands, many of these feet are available in a different flavor for your machine. I have a little passport that I take as my my retreat machine that I check into my luggage. It's a little $600 machine. It has a lot of these feet, and they store nice and compact because they're the nice detachable ones like this. I just really like these kind of feet. So anyway, I hope this helps everybody, and just meant to do it for something fun to do tonight. And I'm only taking one shot at this, and so all of my ums and ahs, oh well. So have a good evening, good day, whatever. And then we hope to see you around, either out on the Facebook forums and otherwise here on the site. By the way, if anybody came to this, we have a Facebook group called So Much Nicer. I've got 14,000 people that are the nicest people you'd ever want to meet. Super helpful, fun bunch. And so part of this was done for them because they know I got the Solaris. Okay, there she sits. And I wanted to show the feet off. Well, anyway, take care, and we'll see you in some other videos or around Facebook.